about
LaMelo
like his
Ball
comment.
was fined $100,000 for
Mhm.
offensive and derogatory comment in post-game interview.
What did you see right here when Giannis took that shot and everyone was underneath the basket for that rebound?
You said that last play when he took the shot? Yeah, we loaded up. No homo. But that's what we wanted. Put the hand up and then just live with the results.
We loaded up, no homo. That's what we wanted. Put a hand up and then live with the results. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Thou doth protest too much. This is what I be talking about. We loaded
I think
up,
it's funny. What?
no homo. What the hell is the? Well, hold on.
Bro, just say pause.
What was
bro.
but Jeff, what was the no homo about? We loaded up. That was the thing.
Yeah, it's
We loaded up.
No.
What's the sexual innuendo about that?
What's this? So this is what I was gonna say, right?
Darwin,
What are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
All right, welcome back, challengers. This is Challenge Day,
what up, though?
season 5, episode 6.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, smash that like button. Subscribe. So you guys can get the notifications and
Do that bit off
everything.
top.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that you guys can keep and stay in the loop with us when we drop new videos and everything. We drop obviously clips, shorts, full episodes. We definitely want to give y'all good content, and we provide that. So do us a solid.
Pay
Like,
the
comment,
troll.
subscribe.
Pay the troll.
Yeah, because you guys like to do that. We know that's what it is. But anyways, so again, season 5, episode 6. Jeff Not Jeffrey. That's Darwin Darko. You'll see our social media handle, which is at Another Challenge Day for the show. It's at Another Challenge Day. It'll be in the banner. You'll see it at the top of the screen. Again, that's at Another Challenge Day. Check us out on every social media platform you like to frequent, which we know y'all just be on them joints. So, but check us out though, and
For the chronically online, while you're chronically online, find your boys out.
Absolutely,
Check 'em out.
absolutely. So again, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and all the folks that have been supporting. We appreciate y'all. So let's jump right into it. First things first, y'all know what we like to talk about.
Catch the
count.
folks. Catch the
Yeah.
folks up on the mass count.
Yeah, we're gonna catch them up on the mass count.
Last
Yep.
time it was 455. Today it's 465, but it's kind of a bittersweet kind of joint because this is America, so we're gonna always have a number for it, and it's always gonna keep going up, right? But we actually haven't had any in a couple of days. The last mass shooting was November 21st. So that was in New Orleans. There was 3 injured, one killed, and the suspect was arrested. That is in who is the person for there? So there's a representative, Troy Carter, Democrat in New Orleans. It's a black city, so chances are Democrats, chances are it's gonna be black.
Pretty much.
Your token, as it may be. But I don't know if he's a token. I just know that you need to reach out to Troy and holler at him about, getting these illegal or getting these guns out the streets, where people can't spray up the block up in New Orleans over in District 2 in
They
Louisiana.
definitely got switches out there too. So that's a whole other thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll jump right into our throwbacks and catch folks up on some stories we've been following and stuff we talked about in the past. The first thing is, of course, big headlines. Trump has been elected and he is nominating folks to his cabinet. And man, it's been some wild stuff. Quick touch on we talk about this almost every time. Project 2025. And people are like, oh, well, how do you know he's actually going to do? What is this Project 2025 stuff? Well, he did claim towards the end of his campaign, hey, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Look at my hands. Look at my hands. I don't know what that is. I don't know what Project 2025 is. But half of the people that he tapped early on, about half a dozen of the Project 2025 authors were contributors to Project 2025, including Brendan Carr. Trump picked him for FCC. Pete Hoekstra was picked to be ambassador to Canada. John Ratcliffe tapped to be director of CIA. Even Tom Homan, who is going to be the border czar, and I think that's supposed to be the not just border czar, but Department of Homeland Security, perhaps. I don't remember exactly, but these people directly working for Project 2025. They were the authors for these things. They wrote the plan, and now they're in place to do the thing. Whether Trump guides that or not, Trump is a hands-off kind of guy, anyways, when it comes to the minutia of things. So they get to implement these things that they wrote Project 2025. Didn't you thought it was just propaganda that we were spewing? That I was spewing about Project 2025? Well, there's the next step right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of the dots are connected for me. I don't even feel like I'm stretching it.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, there's some other cabinet picks. Matt Gaetz was the wildest one so far, which was he was selected to be the attorney general.
Yeah.
But that finally, like, it caused so much drama that he ended up just like
It's withdrawn from it.
withdrawing his
Mhm.
name. And so now Pam Bondi, who was, I think she was the AG for Florida back when I used to live down in Florida.
Mhm.
And so she's gonna be taking the place. And so Trump has, put her up. I have a bunch of reasons historically that I don't like Pam Bondi, but hey, these ain't my people anyway. So they, either way, I'm probably not gonna like them. But wait, there's a twist. Hold on for the plot twist at the end of this. Linda McMahon, she was the the wrestling CEO lady.
Mhm.
Uh she got picked to be, the Secretary of Education, right? So the education department.
Interesting.
Like, I mean, she was in the cabinet before and headed up SBA, Small Business Administration, because WWE, or which I don't remember which federation it was, but yeah, that might have been a small business at some point, and
Mhm.
she's a business person. She
Mhm.
has a whole business, and so I could see that making sense. But Department of Education, I think a few things that I learned about her is that she's pretty much a school choice person, one of these like charter school people, like just put everybody in charter schools. That'll solve it. Privatize the education department. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
All I know is that the education department is in charge of a lot of stuff, helping a lot of low income kids, a lot of kids with disabilities, things like that.
Mhm.
And if Linda's gonna go in there and run it like a business, it's gonna be rough because education should be run more like an education department, not a business. It's not a money generating entity like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, he nominated RFK. I'm not going to cover everybody, but RFK was running for president also. Was running as a Democrat at first, went to the Democratic primary. He didn't work out. And then he dropped out and ran independent. And then from then he then dropped out completely and to endorse Trump and
Mhm.
back Trump and try to bring over some of his voters over to Trump. And now Trump has rewarded him with Department of Health and Human Services. This is a guy that is far from like anywhere near qualified for a job like that. Health and Human Services. This is our medical system.
Yeah.
RFK Jr., the guy that doesn't even believe in vaccines. The brain worms guy, like worms ate parts of his brain. That guy.
Yeah. I definitely had a problem with that when I saw that.
Okay, the Department of Health and Human Services includes CDC and FDA. CDC, by the way, you remember you heard their names because of the freaking pandemic we just had?
Center of Disease and Control.
So after Trump's mishandling of the whole pandemic, you put this guy now in charge of the CDC after your first experience? This is the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
This is the judgment. It's to put RFK in charge of the CDC and FDA. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what? As outrageous as that might sound, I'm not even surprised by any of those. I'm not surprised by any of those. I'm surprised Matt Gaetz dropped.
Mm.
What was surprising to me was his pick for the Labor Department.
Mm-hmm.
He selected Republican Lori Chavez. Lori Chavez is actually a pro-labor Republican.
Why is that surprising to you?
Because pro-labor isn't like as in unions.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans don't support unions.
Yeah.
All the red states are like right to work states, which are anti-union states, pretty much what it is.
But isn't that telling that all Republicans aren't the same?
She's a vast minority, bro. There's like four of them. There's like four of them.
Okay.
It's but whoever, like, please don't ever bring that kind of stuff up again in any context that we talk about, where it's like doesn't mean that
Why not?
there's somebody because what you're saying is if like there was any world that I was saying that all Republicans are the same, like there's 100% of anything anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's obvious that not all Republicans are the same. Like, would I ever sound like I was saying all Republicans are the same? Is that something that sound like
I mean,
was saying?
you said the Republican Party is the MAGA party, so
It
so
is the MAGA
in my
party,
head
too.
is in my head it sounds
Okay,
like you believe the whole
let me
Republican
get
Party is the MAGA
it.
party.
So you're saying that I'm thinking that when I say those things that I'm saying 100% of everybody who's so if I said a Republican Party is a white party, you're thinking that I'm saying every single person who's a Republican is white?
No, I'm not thinking that.
Okay, so why would you not jump to the conclusion of that?
But it's. I mean, the people that we've talked about.
Are you adding value right now with that comment?
Like, I think I am. I mean, because based on how you described it, it's like that's why I asked you, like, is that surprising to you? Because
is it
surprising
to me? Is it surprising to me that this Republic that our Republicans are not the same? No,
no, because the way that you've described the Republican Party in the past is that regardless
we're talking
of
about
them
this
being
right
a
now,
minority,
first of all, but like,
okay,
which is this woman. I'm giving her props for being pro-labor. Republicans are not usually pro-labor. They don't support unions. This lady supports unions. That's an anomaly. Anomalies exist.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I said all those other people were not surprises to me. This is a surprise to me because that's what anomalies do. They surprise you. They come out of they're unexpected.
I guess my thought on it was, as you were describing it, the impression that I got is that because the whole MAGA wave is so prevalent, and the Republican
Mind you,
Party,
I didn't say MAGA this entire time, but you brought that up.
Yeah, I know, but the way you described the GOP is that that's usually the word that you use. So so in my head, I'm thinking that you just
not the GOP. No, I made the distinction before. Not the GOP.
Republican Party.
MAGA is MAGA.
Well, yeah, MAGA is MAGA. But you said basically well, I mean, you have described that basically there should be like that the party essentially is that.
They taken I said the MAGA has taken over the party.
Okay, so they're taking over the party. So
and it's they own it. It's their party. It's the MAGA party. So that's the bridge.
Okay. So based on you saying that you were surprised that this was a pick, it kind of brought me to think that, I mean, is she like did you assume that she was just kind of like on a MAGA wave
But she probably is MAGA. This is what I'm saying.
So that's what I was getting at. So that's what I was.
But she probably is MAGA. I don't know. I've never made a claim about her being MAGA or not MAGA or what MAGA has to do with any of this.
I would say for me, it's not surprising because in my head, I was just assuming because you were talking about, I was just assuming that she was a MAGA person. So that's really, so maybe it's on me because I assumed that, but that's what I was thinking as you described.
But hey, but regardless, she could be MAGA. Let's say she is MAGA. But let's say she's that could also be true. That's even to the point. Let's say she is MAGA.
Yeah, that would be
pro-labor.
That would be even more strange. Yeah, that would be
even more strange.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what I was thinking about it from the beginning. Like that's even more strange if that's the case. But maybe I just didn't explain it right.
Well, I mean, for her to like be pro-MAGA, like that's a good, like, okay, mind you, now I don't want any of these Republicans in this bitch. That's just me, right? But like, I would rather her than a Matt Gaetz equivalent. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree.
Like somebody who just wants to go in and like just strike all unions. They fire everybody who's in the who tries to join a union, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And promote laws to like make it harder to join unions and give them less power whenever they have negotiations. Yeah, I definitely want to get away steer from somebody like that. But this is a person who actually supports unions. Matter of fact, the American Federation of Teachers were like, yo, we rock with this. This is the teachers union who notoriously supports Democrats.
Yeah.
And the teachers union was like, yo, yes.
Yeah.
We like this lady. This lady, we can rock with her. So that's what I'm saying. Now that's a surprise. And that's one of the picks. So shout out to that one. But hey, even the blind squirrel finds a nut, I hear. Everyone, even blind squirrel finds a nut.
Sure.
Moving right along, we have some news update on the Breonna Taylor, her murder. Now, I call it murder. I don't know if they have ever, nobody's ever gone to prison or been convicted of the charge of murder for Breonna Taylor. But a little semblance of justice here. The jury found ex-officer Brett Hankison guilty of, oh, by the way, let me go back real quick and say, so for the Trump picks, you just go look, if you go to Politico, they have a cabinet pick 2025 tracker. And so you could read up more on the other picks there at Politico. So check out their website there. Right now, this next one, the update on Breonna Taylor on the trial, on the case with Breonna Taylor is from NBCnews.com. So read up more on that. And what's happening is that the jury found ex-officer Brett Hankison guilty of violating Taylor's civil rights by firing into her apartment, willfully using unconstitutionally excessive force while acting in his official capacity. Now, you may recall this was the wild joint where, first of all, they forged a lot of signatures just to get the search warrant or the no knock warrant or the warrant to search. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Either way, they freaking come to this house. They it's the wrong house. They had nothing in that particular unit that they needed to be investigating. She was a first responder. Matter of fact, she like everything is above board. She was just at home with her boyfriend. They sleeping. It's nighttime. Police come barging in. He gets the gat. He fires back. He don't know if they get broken into, right?
Mhm.
And there's some of these officers go around and start shooting through the glass window, which by the way has blackout curtains in front of it, so you can't even see nothing on the inside. It could have been a child sleeping right there, it could have been a dog sleeping right there, it could have been freaking freaking propane tank, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what do you can't even see what you're shooting into.
Mhm.
Your fellow officers could have been inside the house by that point. You could have been shooting at them. So that's how Breonna Taylor got killed. They even fired into the neighbor's house, which, wow. So I think that was part of the charge as well. The charge has Hackett, who was convicted of carrying a maximum sentence. This carries maximum sentence of life in prison. Hackinson will be sentenced on March 12th. And they're going to say that no one was charged on state counts directly in Taylor's death. So he's found guilty on that. That's some relevant solace to the family on that. Did you catch up anything else on there?
Not necessarily. I didn't see any. There wasn't anything else that I heard that was going on with the Breonna Taylor situation as far as as far as that update goes.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. There again. This is a pivoting kind of back to the election. There's this movement that's going viral. I don't know if it's viral, but it's picked up news. It's picked up some kind of wave. The 4B movement is happening,
Okay.
and the 4B movement is actually so this is again from Politico, but it's covered in a bunch of different places. You'll find it there. But if you find going on Politico, you can find, just search the 4B movement. And this is a movement that actually started in South Korea.
Mhm.
And it promotes, so there was a stabbing that happened in South Korea, and so it's like violence towards women, right? Event that happened, and it started a wave. I don't know if the guy got tried or let off, whatever, but there's been protests against how women are treated over in South Korea. So there's this movement that started where they're pledging not to get married, not to date, not to give birth, or even have sex, right? And
all with men specifically.
Yeah, all with men specifically. Of course, that's the whole birth thing, but mind you, the population growth rate and the birth rate is very low already in South Korea.
Yeah, so that's what kind of makes this kind of like, I don't think it was fully thought out.
I mean, but what the fuck? If you're an individual woman, you don't give a shit about your population size.
Oh yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, that's
true. For your
That's
body
true.
and your safety and what your protest is, it's on you. Like, if the population dies out, whatever the fuck,
Yeah, they might not care individually, but as a country, that's just
Yeah, well, so the country should.
the
Country
should be concerned. Is
care.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. So this 4B movement has translated to the states. Right, it's come over to the states, and so in protest of Donald Trump's reelection, it says it's going. I'm reading here. It says it's going viral on the social media, but I don't think it's really going viral. But it has picked up, like I said, some waves. Women who are furious with the men who helped the former president clinch a win. The movement's message of bodily autonomy and the anger that drove the conversation in the first place could have a major impact, not just on American politics, but on American life overall, just as it has in Korea. I don't think so. It's not. It ain't gonna catch fire like that. First of all, so you was a woman that's taking You was fucking them MAGA niggas? Was you fucking them MAGA niggas? The niggas that voted for Trump, was y'all really out there fucking them? Yeah. So like, if you're a
Come on,
liberal
bro.
woman and you probably in a liberal relationship with a liberal dude, chances are, right? I don't want to get swept up in the 100% generality that Jeff be trying to put me in, right?
Oh my
But
gosh. Here
if
we
you're a
go.
liberal woman, chances are you was in a relationship with the liberal guy. So now that liberal guy ain't gonna get none. He did the thing. He voted for what he was supposed to. Well, yeah,
They didn't think it all the way through, clearly.
now this one right there, you could say, I don't think they thought that bit all the way through. It's like,
All the way through.
yo, it's like, but I feel like also like there's like Sex in the City, right? So if they, or I'm thinking like
It's a
Sex and the
wild
City or
show.
TV show, but like I never watch it. So if something would have happened controversial, one of those actresses, I'm like, oh, I'm finna boycott Sex in the City.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I never watched it,
Mhm.
you know. So
Yeah,
I'm
say
like,
that
I'm thinking
now.
about them, like you wasn't sleeping with these dudes anyways. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like, are you really protesting? Are you really part of the 4B move? Okay, I add my voice to the hashtag, so I'm helping this
I mean,
swell.
Trinity thinks people just want to support Trinity
Bro,
foods all
this
the
joint
time.
is
So
so
that's
true.
part
This
of it. I
this is
think that's
giving
what it
this is giving really freaking pink pussy hat energy. Like
Okay.
when Trump won that first time, and they had that massive women's march
Mhm.
thing with the pink pussy hats after he won.
Mhm.
That bitch don't do nothing. What did that do?
Yeah.
Next up, I want. This is some funny joint, man. This could not. Just this freaking. Just like life just gives you these freaking beautiful things that happen that could like this had to be a movie. InfoWars, the Alex Jones joint.
Oh my gosh, that thing is still around?
This the Sandy Hook denier guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's yeah. I remember him.
That put these families through. Oh, me Zewi.
Mm.
Took me Zay that he put these families through.
I can't remember that thing still exists.
Yeah, and he's been making bread right for a while now.
Mm.
So because he got effectively sued out of his pants from these
Mhm.
families,
Mhm.
they are able to gain his company, get the company right because so they put a bid out and they combined with the Onion bought InfoWars. Oh, this is so beautiful. The Onion, the satirical magazine and website
Mhm.
that they bought InfoWars. So Bryce Chetrader is writing here. The parent company put out a letter saying, "Here's why I decided to buy InfoWars." So they will celebrate a new addition to the global tetrahedron LLC family, which is the parent
Mhm.
brand.
Mhm.
And let me say, I really do see it as a family. Much like family members, our brands are abstract nodes of wealth, interchangeable assets for their patriarch to absorb and discard according to the opaque whims of the market. And
Mm.
just like family members, our brands regard one another with mutual suspicion and malice.
Mm.
Like it's just as satirical.
Yeah.
Even the letter on like why they bought it is just as
Right.
satirical.
Yep.
All told, the decision to acquire InfoWars was an easy one for the global tetrahedron executive brand, founded in 1999 in the heels of the Satanic Panic and growing steadily ever since. InfoWars has distinguished itself as an invaluable tool for brainwashing and controlling the masses. So they bought InfoWars and they're going to turn it into a satire of itself. It's already pretty much a joke in and of itself, but like a lot of people take it seriously.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering like,
The crazy thing about the Onion is that they actually would produce like fake stories and people would actually believe them.
yes, that because it's a satirical website.
It's satirical, like, it's part of
that's
that
why I was about to
satire.
say. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, I wonder if some of these InfoWars knuckleheads
Yeah.
are gonna buy. Like, no, this is the Onion will post up something and it will put up the logo of the Onion
Mhm.
on the post, and
Yeah.
people will share that as if it's real.
Like it's real, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you see in the comments, people say, you because they would they will post it, and then you know how you add your caption.
Mhm.
And like, bro, you do know this is satire, right?
Yeah.
It's a satire magazine.
Mhm.
It. Oh man, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? People be running with it, so they're gonna.
Selective outrage.
Thus, the chances are they're gonna find some of this InfoWars stuff when the Onion inevitably posts something about it, and the people won't think it's real.
Yeah.
You know, when it's like, no, that's the joke. It's like how ridiculous the stuff is. I have to explain jokes to you. If you don't even realize. All right. Moving right along. So you can read that up. That right there is just at theonion.com. So you can read up the full letter that he wrote about why he bought InfoWars. And if hell does exist, there's a special place for a person like Alex Jones in hell. In an odd news here, there's a fraud case that happened in California last week, and I'm reading this from this was from yahoo.com posted, but it's probably from LA Times. Somebody could probably find it. Officials arrest 4 people in California this week for state investigators they said that these people committed insurance fraud by claiming an animal damaged their vehicle when in reality it was someone wearing a bear costume. Look at this thing. You see it laid out on the floor?
Yeah.
They really tried it.
It's like, why do people...
They said that the bear entered their 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost and caused interior damage to the vehicle. Suspect they also provided video footage. See, you put too much sauce on it. Why y'all providing the video?
Yeah.
Why you providing the video? Like the claws look like legit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God, they provided a video. You didn't even need the costume.
But if you
provide your own video.
If you make an insurance claim, they probably were asking for like, hey, what?
No, dog, you ain't always gonna have footage of a bear attacking. Like in California, with these bears and stuff like that randomly walking around. Like it'll be helpful if a real bear is doing that. And you have your door cam catch that. Yeah, that'd be really helpful. That could help them expect the claim. Yeah. But like they know there's a certain percentage of amount of bears because it happens all the time. We see it on YouTube. Yeah. The bears be in people's cars and stuff like that. People walking by their house and like, oh snap, there's a bear. You know. So like, they'll believe you. The claws look real enough. I saw some metal joint they had, you know what I mean? They scratching up the chairs. Okay. But like, right, you provide the footage that joint say, upon further scrutiny of the video, the investigation determined the bear was actually a person in a bear costume. Somebody had to write that. Somebody had to take the time to freaking write a coherent sentence off of this foolishness.
Yeah.
So they're calling it Operation Bear Claw. That's what the officials are calling it. Operation Bear Claw. The people arrested was 26 years old, 39 years old, 32-year-old, and another 39-year-old. Grown folk. Ain't even teenagers, grown folk. The insurance company lost nearly $142,000 due to the fraud alleged in this case. 2010 Rolls. I mean, that's 14 years old. That's like almost like a classic at this point.
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on? 14 years? What the fuck they had going on, dog?
They probably was trying to get a new one.
They do that to the Rolls, dog.
Or down payment.
Why would you want a new one? Like that's like a 14 classic joint. You're like
at this one, yeah, for sure.
You mess that joint try to get. Oh no, man. So yeah, maybe they needed the bread that bad.
That's what it sounded like. It sounded like they needed the bread for real.
I don't know, man, because that bear costume looked pretty legit. So they had some bread. They said some bread. The claws look freaking real. It was like shoes provided video. Talking about that nigga trying to move like a bear in that joint. You know what I mean? The nigga's knees bending like all weird.
Yeah.
A bear's knees don't bend like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and that bear was probably mad thin. Like just like you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like the
skin all floppy.
Yeah, like like come on, bro. Really? Like that's come on, bro.
They're looking at they're like, that's I mean, I hope we can find footage of this so I can put it in right now. I hope I can find footage of it so I can put it in when we edit it. You're like, bro, that's clearly a person in a bear costume. Come on, dog. Try harder than that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, bro. That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay, so again, Yahoo always has these weird kind of news like that, but we're gonna pivot into sports, Jeff. That's your domain. So what's going on in the sports world?
Main person, we know that. I want to preface this by also saying that Darwin and I, we had a whole segment that we went on about media training. All right. And you can tell, like a year ago, you can tell that some folks probably need a bit more training when it comes to talking to the media. Sometimes
review session.
Yeah, sometimes you just, folks just they forget that they be on camera talking to folks, and we know how it is. But I'm gonna let Darwin kind of like talk about it a little bit because I know he's read up on it. I have as well, but I kind of want to hear his thoughts on it. So I'm gonna put the ball in your court, bro. What did you think about? What did you think about?
LaMelo
Like,
Ball was fined $100,000 for
Mhm.
offensive and derogatory comment in post-game interview.
What did you see right here when Giannis took that shot and everyone was underneath the basket for that rebound?
You said that last play when he took the shot? Yeah, we loaded up. No homo. That's what we wanted. Put the hand up and then just live with the results.
We loaded up, no homo. That's what we wanted. Put a hand up and then live with the results. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Thou doth protest too much. This is what I be talking about. We loaded
I think
up,
it's funny. What?
no homo. What the hell is the? Well, hold on,
Bro, just say pause.
What was
the?
but Jeff, what was the no homo about? We loaded up. That was the thing.
Yeah,
We loaded up.
Nah.
What's the sexual innuendo about that?
What's this? So this is what I was gonna say, right?
We
This is what I was gonna say
loaded
about-
up. I don't even understand.
This is what I was gonna say about it. Some guys be a little OD about it. Like it's like, come on, bro. Like that's doing too much, right?
But
there,
just
bro.
make
Like-
it make any kind of sense. It's like saying I like mashed potatoes, no
yeah.
homo. Like what?
Yeah.
What the hell does it got to
Like,
do with anything?
when I heard the comment, I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, bro, you kind of forced that. You kind of forced that,
Boy,
bro.
did you lose a bet?
I feel like you kind of
Lose a
forced
bet
that.
or something? But like,
Yeah, you kind of
right,
forced that.
it's kind of like this.
Mm.
The reporter's probably thinking, if I'm the reporter, I'm like, no one thought you were gay. When you said we loaded up, no one was thinking you were saying something gay or that you had a gay inclination until you said no homo.
But hold on,
Then I'm
wait.
thinking, is it kind of homo?
Okay, wait, but wait. You mentioned something important there. You said if you were to interview, you would be thinking that, right? This is a different generation.
What do you think that interview? You don't think the interview was like wasn't like thinking that? It was like, yo,
I think when he said that, the interview was kind of like, yeah, that's
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm the interviewer.
but also it's this. What I'm trying to explain is this: like the interview will not even be in that mind space at all, right? Like say that's what I'm saying. Like he wouldn't even be
making my point for me.
No, but I'm saying like if it was a different type of interviewer, like
there's no interviewer on earth.
They might not be thinking that, but in their minds they'll be like, I see where he's getting that from, but it's not like that's not what bitch.
We loaded up.
Yeah. Well, not in that statement, not with that statement, but I'm saying like
when he says
but I'm saying like
there's no interviewer on earth.
No, what I'm saying is like there is like a type of person that probably would have been like, I don't know why you're saying that, but I know where you got that from because it's the thing that you young folks say. Like that's what I'm saying from that perspective.
No, you can't even look at it that way because you would say that what you're saying. You would say that if the thing that they said before was kind of suspect, and you'll be like, you shouldn't be saying that.
Yeah,
but I see why you're saying that because I know it's y'all thing that y'all say because the thing that you said was kind of suspect, right?
Yeah.
But the thing you said had nothing to do with
it. I mean, I do, but yeah, for this specific instance, it was out of nowhere. Yeah, it was kind of like
this is out of absolutely
that
nowhere.
one was
Nobody
kind of out
was
of nowhere.
thinking
Yeah,
anything gay or homosexual until you said you inserted the no homo part. And by the way, I didn't even think they were still saying no homo. Whatever happened to pause? I thought
and that's the thing that made me laugh because I was like, people are still saying that. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, but
I don't say pause, and I don't think people should say that either, because I think we all know it's a derivative of the no homo thing, and it's like, oh, we used to, and that's a derivative of saying something is gay. Oh, you tie your shoes, that's gay. We used to make stupid jokes like that. It didn't make any kind of goddamn sense, but we used to say stuff like that in the 90s.
It's a bit ridiculous,
and so it changed to the no homo, then it changed to pause, right? And if I'm low key, it kind of did change to hey yo, you know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? But so okay, but still, it's like, bro, you really went back. You really dug deep for that one. That was a B-side.
It really came out of nowhere for sure.
That's out of nowhere. As you get find $100,000 for the joint, you idiot.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I was like, bro, 100,000. Come on, bro. You got to do better, bro. Now I will say this. I will say this man, you know, he's $200 million. He got a major contract. So that 100,000 is obviously going to be a drop in the bucket for him. There's probably ways to even appeal this, so you might not even have to pay that. But still, bro, 100,000, bro, that's a lot of bread, bro, for just like something stupid like that. Like you gotta do better.
But
you gotta do
it's
better,
the thing,
bro.
the thing you get
Gotta do
fined. Yeah,
better.
you get fined for stuff that you shouldn't be doing. You know you shouldn't be doing it. You did
Yeah,
it, and so
and you still did it,
you get
yeah.
fined for that. What I'm wondering is, and by the way, like the average American income, American salary is 63,000 a year.
Yeah,
He got fined
100
for a
bands, bro,
no
is so
homo.
crazy.
He got fined a no homo more than a bunch of people
Mhm.
get paid annually.
It's I think it's also dependent on, like, a lot of times the NBA like to, because the NBA being a private organization, they like to make examples out of people, and depending on who you are, they're probably more inclined to this. If somebody else would have said this, they probably would have fined him 50,000, but because it's LaMelo, who's a $200 million man, they're like, nah,
but
100,000.
But part of that too is that they
So-
know when he speaks, he has greater reach.
Yeah,
So
that's
this is
also true.
why
That's also true. Yeah,
people are gonna
Yeah.
share more clips about him and stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Absolutely.
Now, but let's talk about the fine for a second. So let's say somebody had an interview.
Mhm.
Okay, the reason you fine somebody, the reason he's fined for this, so that he doesn't do this specific thing again.
Yeah, they find him heavy because
Words
of that.
again.
Yeah,
So I'm wondering, like,
returns.
you're fining people for, can you actually? The thing is, you don't want the reason you want people to say it is because you create an environment for people that may be gay to. It feels like a less comfortable environment for them, because when you're saying no homo, you're kind of saying, if it was a homosexual connotation, that's a bad thing, right?
Okay.
When somebody did something that was like, oh, you held the door for that person, or you cry, we used to say, oh, that's gay. So that was a way to say it's a bad thing to cry. Saying somebody's gay, or saying pause, or saying no homo is an associative way of saying this is an undesirable thing that you did. And so now somebody who is actually identifies as that, you're just their whole existence, you're kind of shitting on their whole existence.
I think the key thing you're saying there is undesirable, though, because at the same time you have to allow people to have that opinion or have that stance on that thing.
But I'm not talking about.
that-
I'm not talking about the when you say indesirable, I'm not talking about the words. I'm talking about the environment that you create for somebody who is that thing, right? And
Okay.
so the undesirable, creating the environment.
I was really
is
talking about the
undesirable.
lifestyle. I was really talking about the lifestyle as far as like that being.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm not talking about undesirable.
I see you're talking about the environment that you create. I understand.
Right? The environment you create for people that
That do live that
identify
lifestyle. Yeah. I
right.
understand.
And so this is it's like why we don't tell dick jokes at the water cooler at work, because there's women around.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The locker room, they do it, right?
Yeah,
But at work, you don't do it.
Yeah.
What would you say? Oh, damn! I have free speech. I should be able to tell all the dick jokes I want.
Yeah,
anywhere I
obviously,
want.
yeah, of course.
Right?
That's a
And so
big
you
part,
find that kind of stuff, because so that's what the fine is about. Trying to take that out the league. Now, if you try to take that out the league, you're training this person not to say this thing and this. I wonder if it does actually have an effect in his real life eventually.
No, I doubt it.
You don't think so at all?
I doubt it. You just got to be that type of person. I doubt it. I mean,
Because
no,
like I don't say I've never
you have
said
people-
no homo. I don't say pause. Like, why? Because I don't traffic in that. But I used to say that's gay. I used to say that, but I don't do that anymore. So I've changed, and I've learned to take that out of my lexicon. So you don't think there's hope for LaMelo?
I'm not saying. Well, that's a heck of a generalization. I wouldn't say that there isn't any hope for him, but like based on who he is, based on what I've seen of him in particular, at least what we can see as fans, as viewers, and of his whole life, which a lot of his life has been on social media because of his family and all that stuff. No, they just don't rock with that at all. So I can see. I don't see that. I see that as more of like a PR thing for him, but his life, no, I think he has a particular stance on that type of lifestyle, and that's just what it's gonna be. So that's why I think his personal life, like, my stance on that. So my stance is gonna be what it's gonna be. But like,
yeah, but you don't go around saying no homo and pause.
I don't go around saying that. That's just me. I don't go around saying that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I don't say in my vocabulary anymore that used to be in my vocabulary.
So that's my thing I'm talking about.
But I'm saying with him, I suppose. I mean, anything is possible, but I personally, I don't think that it's gonna be something that he's just gonna be like. He may say less, but I think it's still gonna be his position.
So it kind of works. Maybe
I still think it's gonna. I still think it's gonna be. I still think it's gonna be in his lexicon. It's like trying to stop someone who's been saying the N-word forever in their life. It's like, you may, if you become, especially like I've talked to the most educated brothers like in my life, especially going to Georgetown. They were very highly esteemed professors that were there. They were actually black. I mean, most of them were white, but there were some folks that were actually black. And they still said it.
You the white ones? You said some of them were white.
No. Oh my gosh.
Nigga, I'm like, what's going on at Georgetown?
Can a nigga borrow a French fry? And my first thought wasn't, oh my God, he said the word, the N-word. It was, now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry? Nigga, is you gonna give it back?
But the people I've spoken to, very educated brothers, they attended Georgetown, and they still use the N-word, right? And it's like, because they're probably comfortable with me, talking or whatever. So like, a lot of times for people, it's become so embedded in their lexicon that it's like, and it may not mean anything derogatory about it or whatever, but like they just say it, like it just feels normal. Like I feel like some people more than other people, it's just gonna be like it's just something they just gonna keep saying. And I think with him, based on, like I said, based on what we've seen, I think with him and his lexicon, it's just gonna say that. He may say it less because he's trying to, like, what I'm saying, like trying to keep his name, like trying to keep his face clean, but nah, just the way that he carry himself, nah, he.
Okay.
Other
a lot of these
him.
dudes are giving us an insight into their brain, how their brain works.
Oh, absolutely.
Apparently they be, but what I mean by that, I'll explain, is apparently they be having a lot of gay shit in their head often. They gotta constantly walk around talking about no homos and pauses and whatnot. They be thinking a lot of gay stuff.
Probably.
So
true.
it's okay. It's okay, bro. Come out. We accept you. Over here, you know what I mean? We accept you. Who you are.
I think it's more of. I don't think it's.
Nobody was talking about that gay stuff until he did. So. Therefore, he had gay on the brain. And it's okay.
I think
I'm trying to create a safe space for LaMelo to come out.
I feel that, but that's crazy. I feel that, but I don't think it's. I think it's more on the other end, though.
Not that I'm trying to out the brother. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I want to out you, bro.
You gonna have people come for Challenge Day, bro. I'm saying I think it's more on the other end of that, not that perspective. I hear the perspective you're talking about, but I think it's more on the other end of like just protecting my masculinity at all costs, right? So I think it's. I'm just keeping it real. I think it's more of that. I think it's more of that.
Load it up. What up, fam? It's Darwin, the guy that was just talking. First off, thanks for watching and supporting the show. But I got to give y'all some homework. Your challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to interact with the show. That means 1, hitting that like button, because I know you like our stuff. 2, make sure you subscribe so we can swim our way up your timeline whenever we drop new content. The third thing, please share the channel with your friends. Maybe they'll learn a thing about a thing or two. Oh, last thing, we're over here talking about what y'all talking about. So go ahead and carry that conversation on into the comments. We be up in there too.
Here on Challenge Day, we like to discuss challenges that we may have come across or experienced, and that we either are addressing or we conquered. So obviously the premise of our show was to share that with you guys so that it's something that's probably relatable or something that would help you in the future if you come across it. So my challenge is humility. And the reason why this is a challenge for me, that I believe that I'm pretty good at exhibiting a lot of times, and of course everyone still has work to do in that area, I think, because pride and ego can be a lot, in different ways. But for me, it's been a thing that I think about more often, and that I try to put into practice more often, especially even with my Christian faith. Humility is something that is preached and teached about a lot, but there is an expectation that you are at least practicing that, right? Because it's something that God looks favorably upon, someone that's humble, right? For example, a character in the Bible that's described as the meekest of them all is Moses, right? But if you know anything about the story of Moses, you saw how you know how he met his end, which was actually pretty interesting for the guy who was the meekest guy known as far as scripture goes. But I'm saying all that just to kind of go to this point. For me particularly, it's always would I say always? I would say for a long time I think it's been challenging for me to ask for help when I need it, right? Talked to Darwin about this off the camera, on the camera before, so he's aware of that. But like it's because of how I'm wired, how I've been wired for a long time. There's a lot of things I just had to figure out on my own. It is what it is, right? And I've gotten so used to figuring things out, right, on my own, that I was used to not relying on people, right? It's a level of independence that at some point in time, if you're a person that can figure things out and was able to get through life, albeit even if it was struggle, but you got through it, you find yourself in a better place, that can become like a that can become like kind of like an altar to you in a way. It can become like a thing that you know your ego and your pride can be quite elevated, inflated a bit, if you're able to like attain whatever success you may have in whatever area of your life you may be. And I think for me, I struggled a lot in my life. I wouldn't say only because of maybe like just out of like pride and ego. It's just not having resources, not having like have immigrant parents. There's a lot of struggle and strife that Darwin and I we went through because of just it's just a whole just having parents coming from the country. It's a lot of things that they had to kind of figure out on their own, and then things that even Darwin had to figure out on his own. And then there are some things that he would share with me, of course, but it's stuff even just me as a man growing up that I had to figure out on my own that he couldn't always be there for. I mean, that's just life. It is what it is, right? Um, but it was for a lot of my life it was always pretty challenging. There are a lot of times that I failed, and a lot of times that I
Hashtag
struggled.
challenge day. I remember
Yeah,
like
challenging.
like
Yeah,
and
you feel me?
subscribe. Smash
Yeah.
that like button.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, definitely check us out, man. But yeah. So with all that being said, it's I've learned through this. And the reason, so this is the reason, right? This is the reason why I'm even talking about this. As you guys know, I suffered an injury playing soccer, right? And there's a period of time where you have the injury. Obviously, you need help. Like I have my own house. I mean, it's really 3 floors. You enter into the ground level, and then you have like two flights of, it's 2 other levels, right? So as you can imagine, my specific particular injury, I actually ruptured my Achilles, right? So now imagine like, okay, having to deal with stairs, moving around, taking a shower, all that stuff. All that stuff becomes extremely challenging to do on your own, right? Especially when you can't put any weight on the leg that that you ruptured your Achilles from or on, right? So um, I found that having a good support group, having good friends, people in your corner helps a lot. And it's indicative on like your reputation with them, right? Because people are more willing to help you when they have good experiences with you, right? When the way that they see you, the reputation that you have with them, they see you as like a solid person. They're more willing. A person is more willing to help a person who's a solid person, right? Like if you a person who's been dependable or reliable, or if you've just been like just a good dude, like you want to help people who are, what I'm saying, who put out good, what I'm saying? And which I think is actually part of like Darwin's character and his nature, right? Like he likes to put out a lot of good. That's just who he is as a person. He may not always receive it back, but I understand that's how that's kind of how he's wired, right? It is what it is, right? So
I'm still waiting to cash in on some of these.
Yeah, big facts, big facts. But for me, I'm like the opposite of Darwin. It's not that I don't put out good. I'm just a very introverted person. That's just who I am. I'm extremely introverted. I'm very private. Even just doing this podcast thing is always a lot for me. Like even now, like I'm more comfortable with it, but it's still kind of like a lot for me sometimes mentally, right? Because I know who I am, right? But you do things to kind of like break out of that shell to kind of expand who you are to be a better version, upgraded version of yourself. But I realized that just through all the things that I used to take that I don't think I necessarily took for granted, but the things that just came easy, like walking up and down the stairs, moving stuff around, doing stuff around the house, running up and down, playing sports, all this different stuff, like never having to suffer these kind of injuries. You kind of like these things become normal. It's not like you take them for granted, but it's like, it's like this is a normal thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really think about it, right? So
I went through that when I had my foot surgery, bro.
Yeah.
It's a rude awakening.
It's a rude awakening, bro. It really is. You realize that some of the things that the very simple things that you do day to day become extremely challenging. Showering. You know what I'm saying? Like a shower that you could probably take in 5 minutes. Now it's take you 20 minutes just to kind of get yourself fit. Like that whole, whole time of you even trying to get in there. Like it's, putting clothes on, like just, stuff like that. So, I had to swallow my pride and my ego. And I was like, yo, I cannot do this myself. So it's just friends I had to call on. It's people I had to call on that was like, yo, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you, and shout out to my girls. Like she's a real MVP. She helped me she helps me a lot. I mean, to the point where like I be trying to like to stop her from like doing too much, but she's like kind of like, she's like an empath. So she's like caring for people is something that she's really passionate about. So like, I kind of have to allow her to do her thing. And I praise her a lot about it. So she's shy. I can feed her in that way, right? Mentally and emotionally and all that stuff. But she's solid. So shout out to her. But I'm like, it's her and like my friends, they really looked out. You know what I'm saying? Some of them even took off of work some days. Some of them like that have a more flexible job came through just to kind of like check up on me or like help me with different things or whatever, take me to different appointments or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I currently right now still can't drive yet, but that'll change in about 8 weeks from now. So, but like there's things that I can't really do myself for real. You know what I'm saying? But having friends and actually sucking it up and putting it out like to your friends.
So did you ask them for help, or did
Yes.
they all just like roger up because they know you needed something, or did you actually ask people?
So if I can give a percentage to that question, as far as like which way, I would say, and I'm saying all this to say that I'm still working on this, guys. But I would say about 30% of it, 30% of it is me asking, and 70% of it is them like
showing up because they're good people.
Yeah, because
they already got a repertoire with you.
And so they just solid people. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Jeff,
The challenge is supposed to be how Jeff's getting better.
No, but the percentage was probably 5 before. Now it's 30.
Oh, damn. Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Now I'm giving wild numbers, right? But the point I'm trying to say is like the majority of the time is them reaching out, right?
Yeah.
And the minority of the time is me like really asking like for their help, right? So, because it just be taking me a lot to do that sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, but like that's what the challenge is, right? It's like
get that 30 up to 50, man.
Get that, you know what I'm saying? Like check your
50.
ego. Like if you're like me, check your ego, check your pride, because bro, we can't do life alone, man. Like it's just, and it's not like I was desiring to do life alone. That's not something that I desire. But at the same time, man, like you're
There's
ain't
more
as nice
capacity to let more people in.
Yeah,
more
you feel me?
often.
Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta like, bro, like let go. And you know what I thought about? You know what I thought about, bro? Like it could be a control thing too. I think it's largely a control thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
well,
bro, you got
a bum leg is gonna really put you out of
oh,
your control
absolutely.
zone.
It will humble you. It will humble you.
It's
Like
humble you.
especially if you're a person like who like be in the gym a lot or whatever. Like this joint will humble you for real. So like, that's really my challenge, man. Is like for anybody who may have any issues with that, like yo, let go of that pride and that ego, man. Really lock in, but also work on your relationships with people so that if there comes a time where you need help, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna be hard to ask for it, or you know that you can at least expect it for some folks. You know what I'm saying? So like, check your ego, man. Work on your relationships. Make sure you have a good support network around you, which I'm thankful that I have because it definitely has made things a lot easier. And you'll be all right, man. Because at the end of the day, like life is about you really. It's fellowship. At the end of the day, going through life is a large portion of life. I would say that one of the important pillars of living at least a healthy life or a long life is having fellowship with other people, like having people in your network that you know that you really rock with, that really rock with you. So it definitely makes life going. It definitely makes going through life easier and more manageable. So that is my challenge. Check your ego. But yeah, that's what I got, bro. What you got?
You know, mine is I'm gonna get there in a roundabout kind of way, but it is again about relationships. And you're kind of talking about relationships there. And I've been going on for a while now for several challenge sections where I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about building up your network and building yourself up to where you can support your network and that your network can support you. So that's kind of the same vein that you just talked about there. It was because you built that relationship with these people that when you did end up becoming a person in need, that they were able to pour into you.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. I came across a post on Instagram that said people who voted for Trump did so primarily for reasons they felt were beneficial to themselves, while those who voted for Harris did so for reasons that may never impact them personally, but would benefit those around them. I found some salience in it. I don't think it's a circle in terms of a Venn diagram, you know what I mean? But I can see, okay, I can see how somebody would like that post and put up that, you know what I mean? They think they spit in bars. It's all right. It's a medium bar. But one of the nuggets that I took away from that is how it reminded me of how last week you were sort of explaining your reasons for voting for Trump with the whole standing on your square and your value, like despite all the things you knew about Trump and but like there's these values that you have, and that why at the end of the day you ended up making that decision. Uh so it was personal for you. It was like you're individually, you were less concerned about what Trump effect is on people, probably. I don't know I don't know, put words on, but that, I'm just saying that's kind of how it relates to how it reminded me when you spoke about that.
Okay.
I
mean, it's I see how you come to that. I see how you can come to that conclusion, because there is like a countrywide effect that I considered as well. But to your point, based on how I explained it, I see how you came to that conclusion. But I did want to kind of.
So wait, you want to clarify? You think though that there?
I mean, because largely I think that like morally, what the country needs from, again, and like I actually, and I've said this before about like I think although true conservatism is a minority in the Republican Party now, I think when it comes to true conservatism, I think the essence of it is better for the country. So that's the perspective that I came from, as far as
even though Trump is the face of the party, and that you have to vote for him, you get your underlying values somewhat in the door.
Yeah. So my value system, a lot of my value system aligns with the true conservatism of the Republican Party. Right. So not necessarily even though I know that Trump is the leader of it, and of course nobody's happy about that. I'm not happy about that. Like, the guy is a lunatic, but there was no. So when I say a lunatic, I mean like he's okay. Maybe not lunatic, but that's kind of how I think about
it. Because that means you would have voted for a lunatic.
Would
you say that you voted for a lunatic?
I would say that he's a wild boy. that's what
so you voted for a wild boy.
Pretty much, he's a wild boy. Like it's a known thing that he's a wild boy. He's not someone that he is a reprehensible being, right? He's not someone that I would see. He's not someone that I would say, hey, this is an example you should follow. Like, he's not a person that I would recommend to anyone. But he's just at the top of the ticket. I have no choice but like to, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really have a choice in that matter. It's not like I personally want him, you know what I'm saying? So it's more of like just the underlying, fundamentally, like what like true conservatism actually is. That's the driver of like my choice and my selection. So
gotcha. Okay, so thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
With that same energy though, there are people, and so I guess I'm trying to paint this picture of what the challenge kind of is, that feel like that the people that are around them, people in their life, matter of fact, I'll say it for myself, people around me, people that I trust and I love, I feel made a choice that betrayed me and the values that I hold dear, right? And that I value: justice, equality, empathy. And I'm thinking that by voting for this guy who tried to overturn democracy, we went through all his stuff. He's got these trials, and he mishandling of COVID, all that stuff though. And having lived through that election cycle, and even now just unpacking a little bit on like I'm thinking like how you could vote for this guy, right? That shit's exhausting. It has been exhausting. It's an exhausting campaign season. The 4 years that he was in office, before that whole 4 years was exhausting. He was always on camera, always saying stuff. And if past actions may portend what's going to happen in the future, he's going to be exhausting again. Right now though, this is the transition period. We just put all that energy into the election. I was out there knocking on doors and all that stuff, and doing all kinds of things to help support the campaign. I think a lot of us need time to get over this shit. We need time to get up off of this joint and let that joint go. And I recommend compartmentalization. It's a challenge.
That's what I do.
It's
I'll
a
do that
challenge
regularly.
for me to, for us, even right now to do the show, like to know that we're diametrically opposed on how we pull that lever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have to be able to see you apart from who you voted for president.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, these motherfuckers actually were talking about how much they despise this man and threat to democracy and all that kind of stuff. And Biden's kikiing with them at the White House. Biden is like, you know what? The election happened. You know what I mean? Hopefully you do well, shaking his hand, having coffee with him. So imagine.
I've been saying this for a long time. Where politics it's not about people. It's
So
never
imagine
not in America.
Imagine that
Mm-hmm.
they are finding a way to bridge whatever gap, no matter how thin that veil may be,
Mm-hmm.
and you out here for being your relationship. You got a whole 4B movement happening in your bedroom, in your household. Meanwhile, Biden and all of them, and all the
Mhm.
Democrats, they all hanging out and chilling with them. Chuck Schumer was hanging out and kicking with them before
Yep.
the election was over.
Absolutely.
They're moving along. If they not beefing with each other, you should there's a lot of people not going to Thanksgiving at their parents' house no more this year because how they voted.
Because of I've been hearing it. That's kind of crazy, bro.
I mean,
That's
like they,
kinda
they
wild.
they can't separate they are torching their relationships to the ground. I get it. You know what I mean? It is nerve-wracking that as much as you put out to the people who voted for that side,
Mhm.
you know, the stuff that you feel is logical, the stuff you feel like, hey, we share the same kind of values, we grew up the same, and this guy is that bad, you should not vote for him, and then they vote for him anyways. You feel like it's a letdown. I get that, but bro,
So-
these politicians are not burning down their relationships, but yeah,
Let me-
you are.
Let me ask you a question though about that because I'm kind of curious to your thoughts on this. So, what do you think the motivations are then?
Motivations for what? The
For
politicians
Yeah, no, well, for people, right? When you say you just mentioned that
in the public. You talking about the public?
Yeah, I'm talking about the public. So why
No,
why
because
do you
they
think that
really
is?
feel it deeply. I mean, they
Yeah.
really feel it deeply. They identify that joint like it's not a game. Some of these people legit feel like their liberty may be on the line. If not theirs, their friend is, their sister is.
Mhm.
You know, they might have a trans nephew or something like that. They might have an immigrant in their family that they really feel like this is going to go down for them. They might have they might really think that climate change is really going to, if they live in Hawaii somewhere like that,
Yeah,
they really might
I
think
would
that climate
be.
change is going to
Ooh.
be like messed up.
Yeah, if I was in
So some
Hawaii
people that
with
think like that, some people lost family members during COVID, and then they see RFK Jr. is not the COVID guy.
Yeah, that's crazy. When I
It's
saw
a
that,
lot
I
of
was like,
people,
that's
the people,
crazy.
this stuff is real. And like, you voted for the RFK, the anti-vax guy is going to be honest. So you see that choice that person made as an attack on you. So like, it's not hard for me to, I mean, I'm not an empath, but it's not hard for me to put myself in these people's shoes to see why they would feel some existential dread.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
So their feelings are legit.
Mhm.
But with that said, my challenge is I'm trying to put a call out is for people to be like, to try to take a step back, and not put what'd you say?
And compartmentalize.
Right, and compartmentalize it. Like, yes, I'm not saying people should just give up their efforts to, stand against. I mean, go ahead and, do your protest. America is built on protest, right? Go ahead and write your letters. Go ahead and advocate for your causes. Go ahead and run a primary in your local district. Go ahead and go stand for something. But guess what? You need time to replenish that tank. And it may be time to take a step away from the politics, from the activism a little bit. You're not giving it up. You're taking a step back and going out to go touch some grass. you're going out, you're gonna go out, and I want people to, and I challenge this for myself too, to withdraw, but don't withdraw from your people. Now, the people that you used to get together with to rant and rave about politics, how about y'all get together and play some dominoes? How about y'all get together and go do a spades tournament? Maybe y'all should get together and just go out to dinner and just tell some jokes. Like, withdraw a little bit from that space that has that dread. It's gonna be there. Especially right now, this is the transition period. It ain't over yet in terms of like, oh, my life is, even whatever Trump does come in, he puts people in place. It's gonna take months and years for some of this stuff to like
some time to even go
to
into
trickle
effect.
down. So like, there's no need to be hair on fire right now. We needed hair on fire before the election, right? It really wake people up. We did that. Wake people up, trying to get them to come out. We did the best we could. It didn't work. He's gonna be president. And it is good to, I'm not saying put your head in the sand. You want to know what's going on. You want to know that Matt Gaetz was nominated to be was proposed to be the Attorney General. You want to know that kind of stuff. That's kind of important. But you don't need to hair on fire anymore right now. Just like pace yourself, connect with your friends. I would recommend even like maybe this is time to see some of your friends you haven't seen in a while. There's this thing called scruffy hospitality, and that's where it's people oftentimes they don't want to like hang out with people, or they don't want people to come to their house if everything isn't perfect. They haven't had the housekeeping come by, the house isn't in complete order, and so they don't want to invite people to come to their house. It's okay. The point is for y'all to get together. You don't need your place to be freaking spick and span. Get together, have that dinner at your place, invite them over for a wine party or something. Just to have your friends over, people that care about you, that, and even people that maybe you might have that they voted for the other guy, that, you know what, y'all not even gonna talk about that. Y'all was friends before him, and y'all should still be able to be friends after him. Now, if they're spewing some vitriol your way, or if they're actually deliberately trying to cause harm to somebody in your life, yeah, you might want to distance yourself from that. But if they're like, yo, I voted for this person and that was it, I'm not even on that, and I'm here for you as an individual, then maybe make some space for that. And maybe I build on that. And maybe next time, because of the love and affection and the fellowship which I have over the years, maybe they might see things your way come time down. Or maybe you might see their things their way. But either way, y'all get a chance to get closer as in your relationship. So don't just wait to. There was this writer. Was he a writer? Was he a philosopher? I don't remember. Putnam or something like that. He once talked about how people are busy watching Friends instead of hanging out with friends. Remember Friends, the TV show?
Yeah.
So it's like you want to withdraw from this stuff, but then there's a risk of you withdrawing into yourself. There's a risk of you isolating. That is not a good thing. So I want to harp on that point. Don't isolate yourself. Still keep those friendships that you built throughout the years that you were campaigning, or you was, or even if you're people that in your life, your family and stuff like that you had before. There's no time to withdraw. This is no time. We're gonna need that support. You're gonna need that support because I think my prediction is things is gonna get bad. Things is gonna get bad later. And you're gonna need that support system even more so than you do now. Maybe you might be a person that you might have to, you know what? I might have to hide my cousin here at my house. I'm going to have to open up because they might get deported. I'm not advocating you breaking the law, but some people might have to do that. You might be somebody who is, who drives somebody to the clinic and escort them through that because, they had an emergency situation. They got to go to maybe get an abortion and they need that support system. You might have to do that. I mean, all of that, you're going to have to be you have to drive 2 states away to get it. Maybe that's going to be you. you ain't gonna have that energy if you burn it all out now. So take a step back, take a deep breath, compartmentalize what happened in the election and your relationship with individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there may be a few people that you do have to excommunicate, but take a step back first, take a breather, and have a full assessment of what you're willing to sacrifice for the politics of this country that change every 2 years, every 3 years anyways. Because they not burning their relationship. They don't give a fuck. Democrats and Republicans. All these establishment politicians, they don't care. They're all kikiing it up now, having dinner together and everything.
It's all about power with them.
You are home by yourself, not going to Thanksgiving, and not fostering the relationships with people because who they voted for. It's a challenge. I'm not saying it's easy, but just put it in our folks' radar. California sues ExxonMobil for misleading public on plastic recycling.
It's ExxonMobil, man.
So California has filed a first of its kind lawsuit against ExxonMobil, alleging that the company has spent decades misleading the public about the efficacy of plastic recycling. My blood started boiling just right at that point right there. The lawsuit alleges that ExxonMobil has known for decades that recycling plastics was technically and economically challenging and would do little to stem the enormous volume of plastic waste that ends up in the environment. Despite that knowledge, the lawsuit says the company promoted recycling as a viable option. For decades, ExxonMobil has been deceiving the public to convince us that plastic recycling could solve the plastic waste and pollution crisis when they clearly knew this wasn't possible. California Attorney General Rob Bonta said in a statement on Monday. Evidence suggests, Jeff, that ExxonMobil was aware of this thing and that technically and economically, it was all unfeasible. Turns out only 8%, 8 freaking percent of the plastics is successfully recycled.
Are you saying,
bro? You know how many goddamn paper straws I've been through?
A lot of paper straws, yeah.
Do you know how much freaking shuffling I'm doing around in my goddamn house to put this into this basket, into that basket, and this is plastic versus I'm cutting up the goddamn.
I don't be trying to recycle, man. We both got whole recycling bins.
Bruh.
We definitely be doing the work on the ground.
Bro, this shit is fucking useless. We do all this work. We don't even use bags anymore at these goddamn grocery stores. We have to have these reusable bags. I got them stacked up in the goddamn kitchen.
Yeah.
When they know doggone well that recycling shit was fugazi the whole fucking time.
Are you saying that big corp is usually honest with us, bitch? They're always deceptive at the end of the day.
That's not the part. That's not the thing. It's a part of it, but that's not the thing.
I'm probably letting them off easy by saying that, but that's not what my intent is.
The thing that messes with me about it is the way they make it seem like we individually could do some shit about it. You know how I feel sometimes, dog. When I've gone places where I put like a plastic cup in the receptacle, and I look over and like there's a recycling thing there. And I'm like, dog, I'm feeling guilty about it. I go back and I grab my shit and go throw it in the freaking recycling joint. For what? You know, I recently just found out actually, like some of these gallons and stuff like that we recycle, if they have a paper label on them, it's trash already. It's trash because the paper label that's on the gallon, the plastic bottle, even though it says recycling, you're supposed to like remove all the labels off of this shit. Otherwise, it ruins the entire batch that they may have at the facility. Oh, because you put a freaking.
I never knew that. I actually never knew that.
Bro, some of us out here trying, and it's useless. It didn't. 8% was successfully recycled, anyways.
I don't know,
All
but
of that.
that's a lot of work, man, to take off the wrapper and that's a lot of work. I don't know if I signed up for all that
Dog,
work.
we trying to transition to hybrid cars and all that stuff. I don't even have a
Yeah.
freaking car. I got an electric motorcycle.
Yeah, facts.
The
No, I
fuck
mean,
am I doing?
you bought that life. I mean, we know our listeners know that you bought that life for real. So
What is the freaking point? These corporations, Exxon, all of these corporations, they don't give a damn. You know how much fossil fuels they're burning, how much plastics they're creating? We talked about the goddamn floating island that freaking the guy at the Trump rally was calling Puerto Rico. Called Puerto Rico a garbage island. But there's a legit plastic floating garbage island between Hawaii and California. It's out there flowing, bigger than the state of Texas.
That joint is just out there. Yep.
All plastic.
That joint is just out there.
It's been there was some research thing I didn't look this one up, but like it's been a while. Like our brains like have microplastics in them now because of what we consume, because it's been in our food, it's been in our food supply. These microplastics, they've been building up in our system. They're in you right now. They're in me. These plastics will be here even after. Yeah, the plastic starts breaking down. The very little pieces starts breaking down because plastics last so long. The very small pieces, eventually the little bit that does break down, finds its way into our food system.
I need to look into that further. That's interesting.
Yeah, you might want to go check that freaking thing out. To help reduce amount of plastic in the ocean, they said that people should stop littering. People should use reusable water bottles and shopping bags, volunteer to clean up shorelines, donate to organizations that support removing trash, eliminate unnecessary single-use plastics, ensure that fishing equipment is not dumped into the ocean. It's a freaking drop in the freaking bucket for individuals to do all this kind of crap. These corporations don't give a fuck. These corporations are... You know how much water it takes to make almonds? And there's droughts in California.
Yeah.
They got us off the freaking milk from the cows, but now they got the freaking almonds drinking up all the water. What's the point of us trying as individuals that we can't do? It's the corporations. We have to get the corporations to do different practices. When they do different practices, that's the bulk of the crap that we're like, that's causing a lot of this climate change stuff.
Yeah.
That's contributing to all of this pollution on the earth stuff. It's the corporations, the individual that's changing from plastic straw to paper straws for what? You wasn't making a dent. Even when you get those damn mailers in your mailbox, they have, if it's glossy, some places you can't recycle that. If you might think, oh, it's paper. It's glossy, but it's paper. You throw it in the recycle bin. You ruin the entire batch. If they had a batch that was like, half a ton or whatever, I don't know if that is that crazy of a mixture, but like, you ruin a whole batch apparently because you threw a glossy piece of paper in the shit. So that just goes to a landfill. You thought you was recycling. Matter of fact, you go to the store, the grocery store, and you see the recycle bin there. You do your recycling like you're supposed to. But did everybody do that? Or did other people just throw some shit up in there, whatever? That wasn't paying attention. They don't care about that.
Is it more cost effective for companies when it comes to like reusable products? Like, does it like affect their bottom line? Like to pitch that to individuals to like, hey, make sure you're recycling and all that. How does it affect? How does it affect big corp?
Some of these companies,
I'm not sure if I think you understand what I'm asking, but I'm not sure.
I know what you're asking. It's going to be a very cynical answer, and I don't think it's me. I think it's an accurate answer. These corporations, first of all, you have corporations now that try to lean in on it, and they're like, "Oh, we use all recycled material to create this shoe," for example, right?
Like
Nike
does that.
Kids does that. I don't think Nike does with all their shoes, but they probably
not all their shoes. It's some shoes they do it with, like
right?
Some of their running shoes.
And they'll do that.
Yeah.
You'll have some companies that will but that's just their brand. That's what they do, right?
It's more of their brand
because they want to be eco-friendly, whatever, right?
Absolutely.
You have a company like Nike, which is a good example that you just brought that up. that does it, their bottom line, it doesn't benefit them positively in terms of the production of that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Their brand awareness in the
it boosts their
marketplace
brand.
makes you think that, oh, hey, this company cares. So
Mm-hmm.
now you buy more of their stuff. And chances
Yeah.
are all of their stuff that you buy from them
Mm-hmm.
ain't going to be just the recycled stuff.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be some of that regular, good old-fashioned petrol stuff.
Absolutely. And they're going to
Good old-fashioned manual, child labor stuff.
Mm-hmm. Still
Good old-fashioned like smog in these different countries that you're causing for with
China,
AI.
Indonesia.
When you use ChatGPT,
Mm-hmm.
when you burning down the rainforest that's getting freaking cut down to provide, or the diamond that you want from Africa, or the silicon that you need from these other like the downstream effects of all these things. They're still doing all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to buy. You're like, oh, I have to buy a lab-grown diamond so that I can help be a humanitarian, so that kids aren't in these mines. But Zales don't give a goddamn. Jared Jewelers don't give a goddamn. That's where they're getting their diamonds from.
They still get them
and
diamonds.
they're buying it by the bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's the corporations. Like fuck that. I can't do it. I can't be as Puritan about this anymore, because like, damn, I really feel like I'm getting to a place sometimes. I'm like some of this load is just getting too heavy. Some of this load is getting too heavy. And it's like, bro, this is what y'all want, man. Y'all got it. Because you're asking individuals to make all these sacrifices and do all these things, and companies like Exxon is just here lying to us about all this stuff. And they're the main contributors to like the CO2 and all that stuff, and freaking like exploitation of the phosphate, like, and they're the big ones that could, if they changed their practices, then we can actually have a reversal of the problem. But then you ask them, it has to be all the other companies in their industry, and then now you're talking about all the companies around the world to do it simultaneously, like. And meanwhile, I can't have a plastic straw. That's just a scapegoat. Yeah. It's just a scapegoat for these freaking companies to not have to do the work and put it all on us, consumer. Yep. So you can buy all your recycled shoes if you want to, but you know, I hope it helps you sleep better at night, my guy. You're on the right side of history, fine and dandy. But you ain't making a dent. That shit ain't doing nothing. No, it ain't doing nothing.
It's all about the bread. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. You know, again, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Comment, subscribe, so you can be notified when we drop content. So, and also so you can obviously stay abreast on the things that we discuss and we talk about.
And share the joint.
Yeah, please share, y'all.
Share it with your friends. They want to laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They want to learn.
They want to learn. Yeah,
a thing or two.
Yeah, you feel me? So definitely. And yeah, man, we also, of course, you can hit us up even individually if you wanted to. Again, I'm Jeff, not Jeffrey. That's Darwin Darko. Hit us up on social media, and every social media platform that you guys like to freaking we on it. So we'll talk to us, we'll talk back. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. And with all that being said, stay safe, guys.
On love you.
It's challenge day.